Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. What you guys are about to see is my interview with Jack Moore, aka William from Arrow. We talk about a variety of things, including, of course, his time on Arrow, his inspiration to get into acting, and him going to film school to become a director. It was honestly great talking to him. I can't wait to hopefully talk to him again. Hope you guys enjoy the interview. Here you go. Look who it is, everybody. It's William. There
Hi.
he is right there. There he is. Thank you for speaking with me today. I wanted to actually get into, before we get into your stint on Flash and Arrow, where you first appeared, what was your inspiration for getting into acting? Was it watching TV, movies, or something else?
Well, I love TVs and movies. I grew up watching them like everybody else. And I didn't really think about it until my dad asked me if I wanted to try it. And I said, yeah. And that's just pretty much how I started. I started going to auditions and then I started landing them. And that's just it. I just
Okay.
got into it.
What was it
Nothing
stressful?
special.
Was it stressful? Like auditioning? Like, did you feel like the pressure?
Oh yeah, because in the audition room, there's like 20 other kids. And in my very first audition, I had no clue what I was doing. Me and my dad got lost trying to find the audition room, and so it was just a mess. But so yeah, it was pretty hectic.
I mean, hey, you landed some stuff, you know. I mean, at least you don't, because I would think, at least for me, like I feel the pressure when I've done like little stuff with my friends, you know, like little fan projects. Like I just get nervous. I'm like, I gotta perform, and it feels kind of weird because people are watching me. I mean, if you don't feel that, because I mean, then it just feels natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you went out for this mysterious boy who shows up in the crossover, was it already implied in the audition process that it was going to be Oliver Queen's kid, or was it like it's just some boy?
Before I auditioned, I had no idea that Arrow existed.
Oh,
I had no idea that like the CW shows were a thing, and so I had no idea what the audition was for. It was just for a CW show. And after I found out, me and my parents just started binging Arrow, and we just started. And after a while, we started watching every show that came on.
Oh, okay. So were you told that it was William, the son of Oliver, at first, or what? Or did you were told after the fact?
I was told after the fact. Yeah, I didn't know what I was going for. I know I was just going for a kid.
Oh, okay. Because it's a pretty big game changer, at least for the show, and especially for the lead actor to find out, oh, by the way, you have a long lost son that you've not known about, and the fact that they played it up to where you like the Flash more.
Yeah.
and you had a little toy, which was really funny.
I actually have that in my room still.
You do?
Yeah. It's like in a shadow box up on my shelf.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you want me to grab it?
Sure. Let's see it. That's awesome.
Grant Gustin, the Flash, actually asked if I could keep it myself, so it's a pretty big memento.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that.
Yeah, so, and that's the first time we see you. You go right between Steven and Grant, and you drop the toy.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Thanks, sir." And Oliver hands it back to you. You're like, "Yeah, thank you."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I have a few things like that, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually going to wonder about what exactly you kept from set, because I mean, you had a pretty good amount of stuff in your room in season 6 when you became like a big part of the show after, you know, R.I.P. your mother. That was crazy. So when you were brought in for the crossover for your first appearance, were you told that you potentially would be continuing to play the character? Because I would think you can't really close that door once you open the door. So
I had no idea what my character really was. I just knew I was running into a couple guys. I had no idea it would lead into this huge thing that I was a part of, and it was a great surprise for me, and I'm so glad I was a part of it.
I mean, yeah, because you popped up, and then you were kept a secret until Damien Dark shows up and steals you away, and you get taken quite a bit. I kind of realized that.
Yeah, it's a running joke. I'm pretty sure that I get kidnapped every season.
Because you were kidnapped in season 4. You're hidden in that big house. The first appearance live action of Vixen.
Mhm.
And then in season 5, you're taken again by Adrian Chase, and you're like, no, that's not my name. My name's not William. He's like, you sure? And I thought that was really funny because like you're just getting off a bus, you have no idea who
Yeah.
this dude is, and he's like, hey, I knew your dad. I know your dad. I'm just blown away because like literally you were part of some of the biggest parts of that show. Because literally the change where your mother dies, you're on that boat with Adrian Chase, and there's Oliver Queen, and there's the whole island explodes.
Yeah.
And we're like, what is happening? And then you like, did you agree with the choice of where William went down a very moody path, like very like just closed in season 6? Because I mean, it was pretty rough for
Yeah.
be
I
distant.
got pretty angry. I didn't really have a choice, but I'm
Yeah.
glad William went down that road because his mother died.
Mm-hmm.
His dad's the Green Arrow. He's going out to fight every day. Every night. He could die at any moment. He doesn't want like that to happen. He gets kidnapped. Like, of course the kid's gonna be pissed off. His life was completely normal before his dad showed up, and everything just went to shit. So yeah.
That's pretty much that's the way. At points I'm like, I feel like William would say more things if this wasn't on the CW. If this is like a streaming show, William would be like,
Sorry,
Dad,
I'm not supposed to swear.
no, go for it.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I have no issue with that. I think it's funny. Just like William at one point, he'll just go, Dad, shut up. I don't care about your shit. And he's like,
Yeah.
Son, I love you. No, you don't understand. And I kind of sympathize with both you and all of the aspects in terms of like, I'm saying you're William, you're not William, but in terms of like Stephen, his character Oliver lost both parents in different circumstances, and now you've lost one, and you find out, oh, by the way, your dad's also the Green Arrow, and here's your dad. It's a lot to put on a kid, and then now we have Emily as Felicity trying to be your stepmom, and so it's probably a lot on the character. Were you surprised when you were sent away for a while after the grandparents show up? Because I thought you were going to stick around for the rest of the show, like fully.
I think William, I was a lot in season 6, and I think that they wanted to kind of move on from that because I was in like 19 out of the 23 episodes, so I think they wanted to step away from that, but still have me kind of present at any moment. So I think it was an okay decision to make. I think it was what was going to happen anyway. Some way it was going to be.
Yeah, because when they made the decision for Oliver to step away being Green Arrow because of what you wanted, what William wanted as a decision, I honestly thought before you were sent away, I'm like, they might start training William to be a protege or something. I'm not saying like you're going to run out in the streets with a suit and firing arrows, but did you maybe think that was going to happen, or were like you weren't sure what they were going to do?
I had no idea what they were going to do. I never knew what was going to happen.
Okay.
So I was hoping, but like since my character was so young, I didn't think that was going to happen.
Okay. I mean, and then we do the flash forwards in season 7 where we get introduced to an older William. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's a game changer. Okay, so now we're doing flash forwards. Did you ever sit down with him to discuss playing William, or was it to where so much time has passed that it essentially he could be similar, but we don't need to really have a talk? Because I know you guys have met.
Yeah, we have met, mm-hmm. And we actually talked about this. He watched everything that I've done on Arrow, mm-hmm. so we could really get William, and we talked about it, about the character and everything. And so he didn't really have to like. He of course he changed because he's older, but like he really like dug into William and like found everything he could, and like we got into a conversation about it. It was nice.
Well, that's good, because a lot of the times when two actors are playing the same role, due to whatever timeline, that maybe there isn't a discussion because maybe so much time has passed. But I think the idea of you're already going in the direction a little bit of the tech side of things, that William in the future, he's full on tech. Like he's not a vigilante in that sense. He's a vigilante and he's helping behind the scenes like Felicity would. So you kind of take into Felicity more than Oliver. And then we get introduced to your sister who takes the mantle. And then once again, you get kidnapped again in the finale of Arrow. Like they had to do one last kidnapping.
Oh, yeah.
When you were reading the script, were you like surprised, like, okay, so I get kidnapped again, but I'm the reason why all these heroes from all 8 seasons of Arrow are coming back for one last mission.
Yeah, that felt pretty great. Like I
Yeah.
brought everyone back together. Like you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Like, I know y'all are here because for, you know, my dad's funeral, but if it wasn't for my kidnapping, you guys wouldn't be all suiting up right now.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and then you got to actually briefly meet your younger sister, who's now the older version, Kat.
Yes.
Uh, that must have been kind of crazy, like crossing the timelines like that.
Yeah. It was a bit strange. Like you're over there and you're over here. What the...
And now you're here in
Yeah.
one the same time. And if the Green Arrow and the Canary's backdoor pilot didn't have you get kidnapped, which I guess is the theme now. No matter what timeline, William is going to get kidnapped. That potentially you could have met yourself. I don't know if that would have worked, but
Yeah.
I mean,
That would have been, huh?
like how I don't know how that would work. I mean, because we had Felicity meet, you know, Mia,
Yeah.
and that's weird. But then you meeting yourself, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I think that breaks something.
have Barry come in. We can't do this. Sorry.
No. Barry, you've done enough, so stop.
And also thinking back too on that whole thing with your reveal, the whole thing that goes down between the crossover, your first appearance, it was Oliver like basically ending with Felicity because finding out about you, it killed everybody. So Barry had to go back in time and fix it.
Yeah.
It's because of you. It's like, oh, William. How did it feel on set? Like the final episode shooting, did it feel surreal? Like we're actually bringing this to an end? Because it must have felt really weird.
It did feel weird. I'm sure it felt. I didn't feel as sad as I thought I would. I was just happy to be a part of like Arrow and everything. It was great, and I really miss it. It was strange being in the Arrow Cave for the last time, being surrounded by everybody. Yeah, it's just you can't put it to words because I haven't been there as long as everybody else, but I was there for a while. I didn't get to go on the cave as much, but the Arrow Cave was my last day on Arrow, like ever, and so it's a hard feeling to describe. Just all of it ending there, 4 years that I was with it. It was just very, yeah, like you said, surreal. It's a hard feeling to put in.
Yeah, because you were literally part of the season 5 finale with the Lee and you blowing up, but there's a continuation. There's more to come, and I'm assuming at that point you were told you're coming back because I mean, I think they had already announced that the actress who played your mom was cast on another show so that she wouldn't be back. So it's kind of implied, okay, we're going to have William. And I like the dynamic shift there because you got to really do a lot. And I thought it was really cool to kind of add that human, like another human layer to Oliver for his son to now having to live with him. And it's a whole dynamic shift. Mm-hmm. Do you want to go back, like to say Flash? I mean, I don't know if that would be possible, but I would love the fact if Barry wants to go see William, he can. I don't know.
I would love to, I would love to go back. I'd love to be a part of Flash. Or, sadly, other shows have been canceled. Yeah. I loved Legends. I was always like, I know they could never fit me in, but but yeah, I'd go back.
I mean, they're really interesting having Sarah like show up on the wave rider, go up to William, like, hey, you want to go on an adventure? And you're like, yeah, let's do. So your last shoot was actually in the Arrow Cave. How was it shooting Oliver's funeral? Because you had everybody there, and I mean, it looked kind of overcast in the shots. I'm thinking, oh crap, if it rained, I mean, you guys have umbrellas, but I'm thinking that'd be terrible because you had everybody there.
Yeah, luckily it didn't. I didn't say anything. I was just standing next to wonderful Emiko, the lady. I'm so bad with names. I was standing with Emiko and Oliver's mom. Yeah. I was just standing there next to them. But it was great. Everyone was there. It was nice.
I mean, yeah, I mean, and then there's the endless meme picture of where Grant is peace signing in front of Oliver's grave.
Yeah, I wasn't a part of that. I kind
Yeah.
of just walked off because I had to use the bathroom.
Mhm.
I wish I was a part of that because everyone went to it, and I was like, "What are they doing?" Whatever. And that was this big thing, and I'm so mad that I didn't get to stand with everybody.
I mean, it would have been so funny if you would have went down after Grant and just did that too to like, I beat you, Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
I I've also said too that I think it'd be funny if Steven, because I know he wasn't there from what I've understood, if he would have walked up and was like standing in the background as everybody's like huddling around being all sad and stuff, like, guys, he's right there. That's so funny. So are you working on anything right now, or are you just kind of chilling?
Currently, moment nothing right now. I'm more focused on getting into film school.
Oh,
At the
okay.
moment, yeah, I want to go for directing, so I've just been kind of taking all my attention on that. Working with all those amazing directors on Arrow, it just showed me the other side of it, and I was inspired by that, and I don't want to create something behind the camera at some point in my life, so I want to kind of just focus on that right now.
Well, I'm glad I asked that question because now, okay, this is interesting. So when you were on the show, you were like kind of seeing how they were operating and how they were kind of
Yeah,
doing behind the scenes. Okay.
yeah, they were so kind to me. I know I was young and they have to be kind to the child, but they really went out of their way to show me how everything works. Because Arrow was my second ever thing. I was in a show, but I was like up before Arrow, but it was like a tiny role.
Hmm.
Arrow was my first like big production, and it was a lot to take in at the beginning. Um, and so they really made me feel welcome and everything, and they just showed me how everything works. The props gave me a tour, costumes showed me everything, and then the amazing directors I worked with, they just gave me a tour, everything. It was great.
That's really cool that you got inspired to go that route of wanting to create something on your own, wanting to be behind the camera. Uh, but you're not saying you're not done potentially acting. You
Oh,
just want to
no, no.
you passion to want to create. You want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do something.
I know I want to do acting for the rest of my life,
Okay.
but I also want to try directing at some point if that's possible.
Have you wrote anything like a story or something?
Currently writing one thing. It's
Mm.
it's it's a it's a work in progress, but
I get that stress because I've written a number of shorts of stuff that Star Wars fan projects and original stuff that I just popped in my head, and it is stressful because you're thinking, how do I get it from here to on the page and for it to flow? Like it's a
exactly.
process. Yeah.
I always get like new ideas out of the blue that are so much better than the previous ones, so I have to go back and change it, and then that doesn't work, so I have to like fix everything like 20 pages behind it to make it work. And so
Yeah, I get that because I've had times where I'm writing on something, um, and I think that okay, I know where I'm going, and then all of a sudden I have an idea and I have to rework a whole scene because it just doesn't, like, in order for me to get to this point in the story, I have to rework how there's certain it's a whole thing. It's definitely
yeah.
not easy, but that's really cool that you got that feeling. I'm trying to think. I know you were on Supernatural. I saw that you were
Mhm.
on one. You were on one episode.
Yeah, one episode.
How was that going into that show? Because that show lasted for a long time.
I'm
Uh,
glad I was part of Supernatural even for one episode. I mean, it's like one of the longest running shows, I'm pretty sure, right?
15 seasons. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so
definitely.
being a part of that was pretty cool. And the stuff that I did for it was a lot of fun. Um, I got chased by a werewolf. That was pretty fun. I got to do my own my stunt fall.
Mm,
I got smashed by a tree. It was just a great time. It was something different that I hadn't experienced yet. Because
hmm.
Arrow, like, they kept me grounded. I didn't really get blood splattered on my face all too often, but yeah,
Yeah, they should have done something. They could have
yeah.
done anything. I mean, there's
And
that whole scene where you realize, oh, your dad's the Green Arrow again because he saves you in a tunnel. I think it's a tunnel area, and you're
mhm,
like, Dad, and I'm like, yeah, they could have done something or gave
yeah.
something that would have been fun.
Speaking of
Uh,
that, I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
Speaking of that bus episode, that was one of my favorite to shoot.
Mm.
It was just like I was kind of at the center of it. Like explosions were going off over there, like glass was shattered over there. It was great.
Man, okay, so that's good. So that's one of your favorite. Do you have a favorite episode you shot or a scene in particular that stands out?
Oh my. Oh, if I can remember. I know the bus episode was always one of my favorites, but I'm trying to remember now. Now that you put me on the spot.
Didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. Gosh. I don't know. I really can't remember now. Yeah, I think the bus episode has to be one of my favorites.
I think the Star City Slayer episode, I think it's like your last season 7 appearance with Oliver's friend from prison comes in and you're sitting there.
Oh yeah, the Frozen. It was Frozen in fear.
Yeah.
Like the stuff. That was a difficult shoot to do because the position I was sitting on the chair, like my back was like I had to sit there for like 8 minutes straight. My back was killing me. It was the way I was sitting. Oh my god. Not one of my favorite shoots.
They positioned you that way, so you had to sit that way, or was it a choice?
No, it was my mistake because like they said you cannot move. This is your position. Don't move. And I was like this for like 8 minutes. And, oh my god,
that must have been unbearable. That must have been just. I mean,
it was a long day.
I mean, it definitely looked like it took a bit because I mean, you had to just sit there.
Yeah,
and you're trying not to react or anything because then it would mess it up. But that's interesting. It's interesting how that all plays out and how certain things, because when you're watching a show, you don't think about the logistics of how it worked out behind the scenes.
Oh,
like I mean, how long did it take to shoot that bus sequence? Because that was pretty insane. Like it must have took a while.
2 days of shooting for that, and yeah, and the first half of the bus scene, that was just like 1 day of just in and out of the bus, running out.
Gotcha. I mean, because it's all going to play out perfectly because of continuity, and you got to think about all that. I mean, that's what I've kind of learned too when we've done our little stuff in terms of like the continuity of it all. Is that if there's one mistake or if there's only one take that has what you need to cohesively get to the next shot, it's rough. Yeah. So are you already in film school or are you starting to?
I'm trying to get in. I've been applying different places. I'm just waiting to hear if I got in or not. So
gotcha. What were you doing on your time off when everything kind of shut down in 2020? Because luckily Arrow shut down, like finished right before everything happened.
Yeah. I didn't do much at the start. I started writing a little bit. That's really it. I just started writing. I watched a bunch of movies that people told me to watch. Started watching TV shows. I kind of just binged that. See how performances were, like how I can improve myself, things like that.
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask about that because I was thinking back on because you basically grew up a little bit on these shows, and over time, like seeing you in season 4 to season 8. There's a big difference because you actually are a kid in season 4 when you were taken in that whole thing and you're first introduced. Can you go back and actually watch yourself, or are you one of those people where you have to, like, if you see yourself in a scene, you're constantly critiquing yourself, or can you just go?
I'm constantly critiquing myself, and I can't watch my stuff with anyone else. I have to do it by myself, like in my room alone, and.
Is it just like a thing to where you think back on, man, I wish I could have done that differently, or?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Okay. So I'm guessing if you were like the Flash, you go back in time and tell your younger self some maybe tips on maybe how to. Okay. Definitely. Yeah, because there's one part, and I found it so funny, and it's something because I mean, obviously, it's one of your first roles.
Oh no.
No, it's funny because you're like standing there, and I don't know why exactly they cut to you, but you come out and go, stop it. And you're talking to Damon and Oliver and all that kind of stuff, William, and it cuts back to you and you're like this. And like, I'm like, what was that cut for? Like, why'd you cut to him at that moment? Like, you're like telling them to stop and then they're talking and then it cuts to you. I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. But I mean,
I I remember that.
Mhm.
They told me just to like stare at them with
Mhm.
like fear and
Yeah.
just like I was just like,
Yeah,
and I didn't
like
know they would hold my face for like 3 seconds, and
yeah,
so that
they
kind
hold
of
it to where you blink and come out of the blink and
yeah
you're just like staring. I'm like, I don't know what he was told to do, but he's just staring at them. I mean, there's not much more you could not. I guess they could have told you like back away and cower or something. Because I mean, this
yeah
guy's. I mean, they could have done something, but I mean,
yeah.
yeah, that's funny. Well, I think that's it. I mean, I don't want to keep you for too long. You know, I just want to thank you for speaking with me and getting some insight on Arrow and just your thing. And that's really cool. You're doing film school because I mean, that's something that is not easy to do. But I mean, if you have a passion, that's awesome that you're going for it.
Thank you.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
Well, thank
guess.
you for having me. It's like this is great. I've had fun.
Yeah.